This is Smiles TV. Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in again. We have a delightful show for you today. There are some things happening in the city of East St. Louis, Illinois. You don't want to miss this broadcast because we're going to be talking with Dennis Jackson, who works with the Mount Sinai Development Corporation, and they're building some houses in the community. Remember, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God is raised from the dead, and thou shalt be saved. Stay tuned for more Smiles.
Housing, and more housing by the Mount Sinai Development Corporation, the nonprofit arm of the Mount Sinai Baptist Church in East St. Louis, Illinois, initiated under the leadership of past pastor Herman Watson Sr. The newly installed pastor is Pastor Corey Harris. Today, the executive director of the Sinai Family Life Center and the Mount Sinai Development Corporation, Dennis Jackson, gives insights into completed housing initiatives and the availability of affordable housing initiatives. Stay tuned to this Smiles TV episode and check out how the Mount Sinai Development Corporation is playing a major role in the economic development and revitalization of East St. Louis, Illinois. Remember, you look better with smiles.
Welcome back to Smiles. I'm sitting here with Dennis Jackson from the Mount Sinai Development Corporation. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, how are you, Stephanie?
I'm blessed, and it's so good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, Dennis and I go way back, and I'm just so grateful that you took time to come in and chat with us today.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So we're going to talk about the Mount Sinai Development Corporation, which is the nonprofit arm to Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church. Who is the pastor at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church?
The new pastor of Mount Sinai is Reverend Corey Harris.
Reverend Corey Harris, and he's been there for?
He's been there over a year now, actually this month. So we'll be celebrating his first year anniversary in the next few weeks.
Well, glory to God. Congratulations on that. You know, years ago, we actually had Pastor Herman Watson on the broadcast, and we were able to highlight some of the developments from way back then. And you guys are still moving strong and doing more things now.
We are. I believe that was the completion of Sinai Village 1.
Yes.
That was 30 single-family houses. Since then, we completed Sinai Village 2, which was another 30 single-family homes, and now we're in development of Sinai Village 3, Winstanley Park, which is 38 units of housing.
My goodness. Tell me a little bit about the Mount Sinai Development Corporation and its inception, and how did it come to be?
Well, it formed from back in 2002. We started what's now called the Sinai Family Life Center, and that was to bring after-school programs, summer camp, summer programming, and senior programming to the church and be the outreach program of the church. Okay. By doing that, we then discovered that there was a need for affordable housing in the community. So in 2005, we created which is the third 501c3, the Mount Sinai Development Corporation. It's responsible for economic development within the area around the church, which is called the Winstanley neighborhood.
Okay, so you know what, affordable housing in East St. Louis, Illinois, that is just so great to hear. I can remember when I first came back from college, and I was working for the city, press secretary at that time, and there was no housing in the area. And a lot of people have said, even the school teachers who want to live in a community, and some of the city workers, they may want to live in a community, but they couldn't find housing. So you guys are filling that gap.
Absolutely. I experienced some of that same issue when I came back from college. I wanted to live in the city, and I could not get a loan or for the home that I wanted. I could not get a loan to get that home, but I can get a loan in another community. Right. So that was one of the challenges I had as a young man, and kind of is a driving force for me now as to why we need affordable housing in the city of East St. Louis, because there are a lot of people that want to live in the city, but they just want the home they want.
Right.
So
right.
we've got to fill that gap, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, well, before we go into the housing scenario, let's talk about your background a little bit. I remember you were working with a lot of different entities in the finance realm. So give us your journey.
Well, out of college, I worked for Ford Motor Credit in customer service. From there, I went to Toyota Motor Credit. I kind of got into finance, more to speak. From Toyota Motor Credit, I then went to, which was back in the day called Magna Bank. I think that's an old bank in East St. Louis, which was then later bought out by Union Planners. So from there, Union Planners decided they wanted to pack up and go back to Huntsville, Alabama, or they were downsized, and they sold to Regions, which of course left the people that worked for the bank without a job here, a severance,
Right.
if you will.
Right.
So at that time, I was a lifelong member of Mount Sinai Church. Reverend Watson decided or wanted to do something in the community and started the Sinai Family Life Center, and I was a board member. And we needed an executive director, and I had the time being laid off from the bank to do that. And the Reverend said, well, if you give me a little of your time, I will, you can, the church will give you a salary, and then you write grants or do whatever you need to do to survive.
Okay.
And I said, well, I can do that for a year, because I got to find a job. I got a young family. And he said, well, just, don't doubt God. Just do it. And that was in 2001.
Oh, wow.
And it's 2025 now. I'm still at Mount Sinai.
And so your family, tell us a little bit about your immediate family.
My immediate family, married to Andrea. I have 3 children, Janae, Dennis, and Peyton. All are doing well. New grandchild.
Oh, wow.
grandbaby
Congratulations.
in Dallas. Little Braylon.
Okay.
And so all are doing well. All are doing well. Everybody's degreed. Youngest daughter's in law school.
Good
So
for her.
I've been blessed.
Yes,
I've
you
truly
have.
been blessed. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the housing. And I'm just excited about this. Thank you, Dennis. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Smiles.
Do you have a Christian ministry, an inspiring story, an innovative idea, or an upcoming event? Are you an artist, an educator, healthcare provider, author, or musician? Since 2013, Smiles TV has shined a spotlight on the good happening around the world. Contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at 618-741-3770 or send an email to smilestv777@gmail.com. Let Smiles TV tell your story. You look better with smiles.
Okay, welcome back to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm sitting here with Dennis Jackson, the Executive Director for the Mount Sinai Missionary Church Development Corporation. And actually, it's the Mount Sinai Development Corporation, which is the arm of Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, these houses that are coming up in East St. Louis, let's talk about that. What do you want to share regarding the housing project?
Our overall intent, right now we have completed 60. They're fully occupied. We're building 38 more units of housing. These are garden-style apartments, more to speak. And so our ultimate goal is 270 units of housing in and around, in East St. Louis, but in and around Mount Sinai Baptist Church. That's the ultimate goal. We also want to have some retail space for small businesses. We have a corridor plan for that, as well as we are working on, and construction should start within the next 30 days of our new community center.
Wow, you guys are really moving. And I remember as I was growing up, my mom and dad would always say things like how the church is responsible for taking care of its people.
Absolutely.
And you are really giving us a great example of how that can be done. We thank God for you.
Yeah.
So what are some thoughts regarding the housing complex that you want to make sure that are public?
We do want to let everyone know that application process has started. They could reach 618-874-2002, and the third prompt would be the Sinai Village. So, and leave a message. That will be checked daily, and someone will get back to you for application process. These homes are affordable. There's affordable housing. There, you must have a job. It's for folks that make 60% of the median income. So, our intent is to redevelop East St. Louis to how it used to be, to how we had neighborhoods that were just established, where folks worked every day, kids played together, and they were safe. So that's our hope to do, create a new, but recreate a safe environment for our families and our children.
Wow, looks like you guys are doing just that.
We hope to.
So where are you going from here? Any talk about the future of the Mount Sinai Development Corporation?
Our plan is to, again, it's 270 total units of housing.
Wow.
To around the neighborhood, around the church. And again, and the community center is going to be the anchor. Well, of course, the church is the anchor to it. But when we move into the new community center, we hope to house a jobs program. We're working on that. And I want to say a plug. We're hoping to get even the Urban League to come back or be a part of that. But we want to do economic development and training for our citizens to be able to get jobs, the industry to come back to East St. Louis. We want to have them prepared.
Okay, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you think is vital to share?
Well, I guess one of the fundamental things that I was raised with in East St. Louis was winning. And I'd like to, for our audience to understand that don't give up on the city. We've always been taught to win. And through trial and tribulation, no matter what, how gloomy it looks now, we have to do things, progress now, plant the seed now in order for it to grow for the next generation. So I would ask everyone to stay prayed up, to pray for our city leaders, and just keep moving forward. We will get back to the days of old where it was a prosperous city.
Yes, sir. I love that. And a lot of people don't understand, we're big on sports, but our academics are excellent as well. But in that competition and in that sports arena, we learn perseverance and we learn how to stick to things. And we can take that same train of thought into development of the community, into whatever we're doing, we will win.
We will win.
So I like that.
All right.
Okay, give that number one more time that people can call.
The number to call if you're interested in housing at Sinai Village is 618-874-2002, and it will be the Sinai Village prompt.
Thank you again, Ben. It's good seeing you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into Smiles Television Talk Show. And, the Mount Sinai Development Corporation is doing great things, and check them out. Remember, only what you do for Christ will last, and Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified.
The Smiles Television Talk Show wants to showcase your business, organization, church, and activities. If you have an interest in being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show, or if you have any show ideas, contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at SmilesTV777@gmail.com. You may also call 618-741-3770. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Smiles YouTube channel. Let Smiles TV increase your reach. Remember, you look better with smiles. IDEX Media does a lot. From IDEX Photography to IDEX Films. We help create forever memories and forever impressions. Image a nation, image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.